Okay, so let me start off by saying that I am not a professional by any sense of the word. I am not the second coming of Grey's Anatomy. I am just a layman that has ideas, that wants to help people, help themselves, enrich themselves, and kick ass. Okay, let's start with the video. In the circadian monotony of everyday life, how much time are you setting aside just to sit and think? Yeah, you might have a planner and a checklist, and you might have the habit of reviewing, but how do you feel about pulling off your plans? What are some things that you might need to improve on? Or if you're the type of person who is living through said circadian monotony of everyday life, but have too damn much going on in your head, first of all, how many things did you bump into? And second, how do you feel about having too much in your mind? What do you make of that? Did you know that you can observe the observer's mind if that which observes is led astray? I say all this because I've been in the situation where I've been coasting through life, not knowing what the fuck to do. And next thing you know, stuff happens and I'm lying in bed, my hair and my skin are greasy, and I'm looking at the same corner of the ceiling in my room, at the same strand of spider web for like the umpteenth time. And then this is where I started a habit of reflective writing, and it got me out of the rut. And at this point, I've been writing reflectively a hell of a lot. If you have read Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix like 227 times, then that's approximately how many pages I've written. So I'm like, what the hell, I might as well share my experiences with people. They seem to be on the fence about wanting to keep a journal and express their suppressed thoughts. I also wanted to point that I've been seeing self-help communities talk about writing all the time, and I think Peter Jordanson is like the leading man behind writing with purpose, and it's all well and good. I mean, any amount of effort to improve the mental health of people is always a noble one. But for the most part, there are a bunch of people showing you what size journal should you use, what method of writing should you use. Not many people addressing why the fuck should you consider writing in the first place. I've also noticed that in the comment section of some of my videos that some introverts and extroverts perhaps haven't picked up the habit of writing. That surprised me. So I'm like, what the hell is this tiny clusterfuck of a situation that we have over here? Like, do I have to be the Dumbo that addresses this? Like, I don't want to do it. But let me attempt to tone down that clusterfuck today. So with all that being said, are you going to listen to Porton Jeter? Or are you going to listen to me, Jarek Dieter? What the fuck? First of all, we got to understand the term reflection, and to do that, we got to go back to the 4th century. There were shamans in the ancient city of Teotihuacan, I might have butchered that, I'm sorry, who studied the stars at night and associated their findings with the world around them. You would think that they would have insane memories and look up at the sky, but no. What they did was that they looked down at a pond that reflected up at the stars, and they were able to trace the pathways of the stars. And from there, they noticed patterns. And from there, they interpreted those patterns based on events happening back on Earth and applied their meaning to enrich the environment and the people in it. Okay, so now let's process that. What can we get out of this? Well, imagine the stars in the night sky being the thoughts in your head. Imagine the pond on the ground as the journal on your bed. That rhymed. Putting 2 and 2 together, consider a journal as a symbolic pond, if you will, that is a reflection of all the thoughts and chaos going in your mind. Using the pencil or pen or writing utensil, you are tracing those thoughts in your head and the emotions thereof onto the journal, in the form of words or pictures. The more you write, the more those words and or pictures will have a pattern to them. Then you realize there is something going on here, and this is your time to pay attention to that. Does that make sense? I hope you're noticing the connections being made here. So, in my experience, the idea of reflection not only involves thinking about my experiences in daily life, it also involves the process of tracing out my patterns of thought and emotion, putting 2 and 2 together, assessing, and figuring out better ways to navigate through life knowing what I found. But this process and the pattern recognition and learning opportunities therein doesn't become apparent to you until maybe weeks and weeks into it. But of course, the sooner the better. But in my experience, it took me about a month before I noticed something, and that was because I was still in my head the whole time. Now, we gotta stop here and say, when you first start off, if you decide to start, it will start shitty. It will start superficial. I would argue that it's supposed to happen. If you had any expectation to write like Ernest Hemingway, then yeah, you're writing like Ernest Hemingway if he was a fucking seahorse. But it's all to help you understand that your mind is still in a state of flux. You're still starting that hero's journey to find something. And what exactly are you looking for? Well, my guess is that since journal writing implies introspection, you are looking for yourself. INFJs take note. Which brings me to the idea of self-reflection. Around the 2-year mark, when I got serious about writing and reflecting, I developed an inner dialogue. One would say that I was metaphorically talking to myself in the mirror, but I'd like to see it as observing the dialogue between the self that experiences and the self that processes it. Now this is going to sound abstract and I'm going to lose like more than half of you, but when I got serious about writing, the journal entries took a format as if I was sending a letter to someone. And that someone was an unconscious entity in my brain that liked to cause trouble in my life, but at the same time was uncommonly obedient. Kind of like raising a child. Take that for what you will, but let me attempt to explain that more tangibly. The more you write to reflect, the better you will be at it, naturally. But in the beginning, if you are ruthlessly honest with yourself, it will be pretty tough. This is because, like I said, you're still in that chaos, you're still in that state of flux, you're getting to know a little bit more about yourself, which legit could be a scary thing. You'll be thinking to yourself at times like, oh shit, this frame of mind was in me the whole time. But if you push through all that, when you accept it, come to terms with it, and learn to let go of the things that are supposed to be let go of, you will be more nuanced, you will be more precise, you will be more articulate, your mind will eventually calm. You will find order in the chaos of your own mind, you will make better sense of things, you will develop an intimate relationship and dialogue between the you that experiences things and the you that reflects upon them. Now I don't know how to explain that in a better way other than you consult yourself and assess how to better navigate through life and its many obstacles to be the best you can. I'm not saying that you will have the ability to solve every problem by yourself. You do need the input from others. What I am saying is that you will have a relatively clearer mind when you go through whatever comes your way. And then more writing ensues, and over time you will have a better idea of what your problems are, what it would look like without those problems, where you are right now, what you feel is the best thing to do, what you wish to happen, etc., etc. So then the question is, where do you go from there? I don't fucking know. That's up to you, dude. If you want to start writing, just start writing. On a piece of paper, a white wall, a leaf, a paramecium. It doesn't matter. I've only done so much to invite you to see things in a different way, but ultimately, you're too unique of a person to be given a step-by-step process. I will say, however, that I was reading about billionaire daddy-o Ray Dalio, and he mentioned that self-improvement is a reiterative process that involves setting goals, encountering problems, diagnosing said problems, coming up with a plan to combat said problem and pursue goals, and then going out and actually doing it. So I don't know. Take that for what you will, but you will have to trust yourself to decide what you want to do. If you had any thoughts in your head that maybe this writing thing will be laborious and I'm going to feel obligated to do this every day, well, you're right. But let me wrap up this video with this train of thought. Starting to write in a journal is like moving into the house of a hoarder, but you are the hoarder. Then over time, you will figure out what is important to you and what is not. You throw out everything harmful, you bring in everything healthy. And eventually, the habit of writing will be like coming home to the sanctuary of your mind, telling yourself how your day went, understanding that you are you and no one else can take that away. I've written long enough to know firsthand that you will be more mentally stable and rationally optimistic over time. I hope that you will consider writing for personal growth because I really think it's good for you. Also, I didn't put in as many jokes in this video seeing that it became a more serious topic than I anticipated, but I hope you got something out of this. Oh shit, I forgot the Ben & Jerry's mint chocolate cookie.